Hello, everybody. This is Igor from the room, and unfortunately, this is the second take on this video. I sent the email. Sorry, I sent the message to MT today, and I asked him if it's okay if I just go through the first one I made yesterday, and then I discovered I left out important points that are really necessary to bring up regarding this issue. So unfortunately I have to do it over. I'll try this time even to compress it a bit. That was the first time yesterday I was making any video or whatsoever and using flashback for recording, so I have just a bit experience to make maybe a little better today. I'll keep it on point and make it. I'll try to make it as short as possible. 2-minute charts. I feel like a little bit like a parrot. I have to kind of repeat everything I did yesterday, but well, what the heck. 2-minute charts, guys. I'll be using yesterday's as I used when I was making the video yesterday. I'll be using the same session recorded here, Monday 14th. So today is 15th. There were some nice examples of what I need to show, so I'll keep to it, and I'll incorporate all those few points I left out, I forgot about yesterday. So the only way for me to do this is to show you how I do it, how I see it, and how I use it. And I've been using it very successfully. 2-minute charts are giving me a lot. So let me start, guys, just with one question. MT says that some people are over focusing on 2 minutes. And I can understand that. I've been doing that myself, not in 2 minutes, but I have been over focusing on some certain things before more than on others, and I kept failing. So let me ask you this question, guys. If you would take any part of the system, as you can see it here, any part, and leave everything out, what would you get actually? Not much. You would have a very kind of limited information. Let's say you would single out just this GU 1 hour chart here, and you would forget about everything else, and you wouldn't have that much information. The only thing we would have going for the signals, which sometimes will kind of kick your ass, and you would lose. It's not enough, guys. So the way I see it, and as the Jastran has been teaching us all these long months and now even years, we use all this range of different time periods, time frames, to get the story. But there is, as Jastran said on Friday, it's all about the best probability. And there is one thing maybe we are not thinking of all the time, we're forgetting, but let me point that out. Look, if you would take, let's start with 4 hours. That's usually 1 and 4 hours. We look for trends and biases for the session. Taking long-term trades, looking long-term charts is you watch it separately. But if you take, for instance, 4 hour, let's say GU here, and if you want to see details, guys, then you put it on the magnifying glass, and what you see 1 hour charts. Every candle here contains 4 of these. So if you want to see what happened in the meantime, you check it here. So you get kind of the inside information on the obvious information, or the information you get on the 4 hours. So that's kind of the whole story throughout the whole range of these different time frames. So if you want to see, if you want to watch, if you want to have details from 1 hour, you kind of will watch it closely, and then you see it here. Now we have 30 minutes. We are already kind of used to it to 15-minute charts, but it's just additional information, as MT said. But then you here and here you get the details of what happened here, and that continues. If you want to see the 15-minute detailed situation, then you watch the 5-minute charts. And that's the same thing with 2-minute charts as well. 2-minute charts provide the inside information on what's happening within 5-minute charts. Now, the 5-minute give the signals, and for me, as BR said yesterday when he was on, 5-minute is a trigger point, a kind of it's a time frame where I'm looking for trades and trigger them, and when I do this, I watch at a certain time a certain information on 2-minute charts, because they are telling me what's going on within here. It gives me the additional information of that I can combine with what I see here. So I will show you the examples of how I do it, how I match it. And you can see that, guys, 2-minute charts are not confusing at all. Now we also have to be honest a little bit here. Look, we all know, guys, that from time to time you log into the system, and then you see something messy. You don't see anything, no clear trends, no clear biases, and it looks messy. It can look messy on 4 hours, 1 hour's combination of them. And it can be so across the board. So nothing, not a single part of the system is always clear and logical. So why would we expect 2-minute charts to behave differently? And if that confuses somebody, well, I can understand. But guys, I just don't understand why would we take it? Because as long as we are using 5-minute time frame, we need to have 2-minute charts to tell us what's going inside, to find and refine the best possible entry point, to squeeze any additional pips we can have. And that's what I do with 2-minute charts. So focusing only upon 2-minute charts, we ain't gonna get us anywhere. But it's the same thing with everything else if you would only focus upon that. So so that's a kind of the thing with the 2-minute charts. And once you see certain patterns, you'll see how good you can use them, because when they start making sense with the whole story, guys, they provide really valuable information, and I'll show you today. So let me see here. Okay, this was I'll just put it here at the beginning, just for a second. So, and let me please check. Okay, 8 minutes. Oh, for Christ's sake! I mean, however you do this, it takes time. Okay, guys. How I do this? I leave the teaching to the masters like Jazz Friend. BR did incredible job with kind of structuring all this information, putting it in formal rules. Incredible, BR, incredible job you did with this. And for those who have not learned that, go to the videos, guys. Watch them. And what I came across when it comes to 2-minute charts actually came as a little bit of extension of what BR explained as the rules. So this is how I do it. I'll go step by step. I'll find a few examples, and I hope that will be clear. As Jason has taught us, and as rules are telling us, we always, at any moment, and always start with trend and bias. Look at the situation there. We look for supporting signals on. Now we have as 30 minutes, 15 minutes, 5 minutes. And when we get the story and the solid ground, build up in front of us, that's when we start looking at the 2-minute charts. No point looking at them before. They will not make sense. So we have the chain everywhere from here to here, then all over here, and when everything's in place, then we look here. And when this happens, these guys will make much sense. So what I watch on 2-minute charts when this comes, well, I'll come to that. So let me just give you a few examples, and we can get on with this. If you take a look at the GU, it's all up. It's up. Everything, the whole system is basically up. But since I mean, we do have those two correlating reds on the GU, but they don't affect trend whatsoever. They came back. The 1 hour came back to the orange line. It's definitely to expect the bounce because these are reds. If they were kind of yellow reds or power pinks, that you could expect eventually if you had the momentum to break through. But after this, when I saw here, when I logged in, we have this beautiful pink here and this beautiful pink here. This is the situation of the reversal is most likely over with these yellow reds here. I think, yeah, this is the yellow red here. It took it down to the BB band on 15 hours and 30 minutes. Sorry, 15 hours, 15 minutes and 30 minutes. And now we can see, due to all this, the 5-minute situation is kind of flat. It's on the yellow line, but so here I saw we can expect the trend to resume. But at this point, I don't have any trade because now the situation has come a little bit clearer. I would do much better if I get the signal here, but I need something to happen on the 5 minutes in order for me to take a trade. 2 minutes at this point makes no sense whatsoever. Not even reason to take a look at it. We never at any point lose the sight of all these guys. At no moment, at any time. Always having the watching what's happening here for any change, new signals and everything. So not over focusing on any part more than anything else. And guys, look, the focus, what you need to focus on, that's the matter of practice. We all have troubles from the beginning when we start with all this. It takes time to learn. Yes, I understand that's reality with it, and it can be frustrating at moments. But look, we got to do the job, do the work we need, or we don't. There's basically nothing in between. The mindset part, I see it a little bit differently, but I won't be speaking about that at this point. I may bring it up later. So I need something to happen. So let me show you the situation when it started to happen. Nothing was happening here at this point. We did get the red here, and I'm expecting the trend to continue as I said previously. But now I need something to happen on 5 minutes. Like guys, as I said, 2-minute charts provides the inside information of what's happening within these candles here, just like the 5 minutes provides what's happening with these candles here. So somewhere something will happen, and it did at any moment. Now let me show you what happened. Well, it's here. This is the first indication that something may happen. It doesn't lead to trade. You see this little hint of what may come. Guys, I don't look for signals on 2-minute charts. They pretty much are non-existing for me. That's not the information I need at any moment. What I do look is the movement and basically a little bit of the story on 2 minutes. Because guys, when we are came on, sometimes it was like in the beginning of February, and he talked about BB bands and 5 minutes that actually work as a kind of leading indicator. And then I started watching in those, and my God, I mean, it brought me into a whole different kind of dimension of the whole thing. These things like this, look, let's see this, when it happens and look like this, if it's with the story and everything else in place, guys, these things are amazing, and that's what I need here on GU. I need this on the EU. The situation is pretty much similar. Well, this red is a little bit weaker than this, but it correlates. It's pretty similar situation. I could definitely count on this, but I need on both EU and GU basically that kind of move. And this is a hint. This is kind of inside information of this that it may happen, so I'm looking for it. Because right now this doesn't make much sense. I can't take trade on anything here. I don't have a signal, and there's nothing I can do. Now, guys, what's good with all this, when you pay attention to these things, you will have a few benefits that are really, really amazing. Then, first one is that you have the possibility to precede a signal. You can, when you have the opportunity to take the trade based on these things, I find myself very often in this situation that when the signal comes, let's say, for instance, 5 minute trend in pink, I'm already very nicely in the trade, like maybe 6, 7, sometimes 10 pips. And when the trend in pink comes, and that simply means it's just to keep surfing. And this means that you can get into bigger moves very early. And besides the point that these things really, really work nice, but you have to develop a little bit of an eye for it. Practice, get the sense of what you can expect, how this plays out, how it works. But there's also one other benefit, guys. When you get these indications combined on 5 minutes and 2 minutes, it can also kind of warn you about the potential failing signals. Again, I speak very often about, or mostly about 5 minute trending pings, because they can do sometimes fail. And once you learn to spot these patterns, it can warn you. I'll find you the example of that. If I can in this one, I think there is one. We'll see. So now to come back to where I stopped here, I'm looking for something to happen of that kind on GU and EU, and because that was the best at this point, the best thing for me to look for. And as I said, this is a little bit of an indication, and as you will see, moment later, or better to say 2 minutes later, we have a really clear indication here on 2 minutes. Still no trades. We can't take trades on this just because of this has happened. You don't take trades. No way. That would be a mistake. We are taking at this point this as just as expectation for the real thing to come, and it's coming. Look. It really doesn't matter where the price go at this point. At least that's how I use it. Now we are in a totally different story. And this is the moment I'm starting to use 2 minute charts to what they are, kind of fine instrument for a high as high precision as I can get. Now I'm taking that really literally of not taking the bunghole trade. That's the reason why I missed to take the trade on EU. I couldn't. It was simply too high. I'm not buying anything anymore, guys, at the top and selling at the bottom. No exceptions. Basically, no exceptions for me. Even though if I'm still seeing sometimes trades, and at the certain circumstances when everything's kind of pushing at one direction, you can actually do it. But As BR has said, and he is absolutely right, guys, it's about creating the habits. And creating the habits is basically self-programming into working in a specific way, and then that serves us in the best way possible. So I have a low enough on GU, and this is where I started to look for trades. Now I will show you where I took the trade. The momentum here, I have to say also one thing. It does happen from time to time when I see the conditions are so favorable that I take the trade, especially if it's touching the BB band, but from momentum only if the momentum is something on my side, not fully, but something on my side, or really silent. Because momentum, guys, sleeps sometimes, and it sleeps deeply, and the price is moving, and the momentum says nothing about it. Now, here we have the DX is red, which is good for us, but in this case we would need this green. It's not, it's red. So I'll show you. Sometimes it's a kind of thing of fine tuning and balance. Sometimes guys, I don't get it really well, but I win almost always when I get these informations here. So I'll show you where I took the trade. The EU, at this point, I've been watching and hoping this will come at least here where the GU is. It never did, so I missed that trade. I took one trade later. I'll show it in a minute, but this is the I want to show you exactly where I took the trade in GU. Look, I was waiting something to happen, and then the momentum turned. It was quite big. And at this point, I thought I'll miss it because it was now too close to the BB bands. And I gotta say, guys, yesterday or Monday, which I'm showing here, was a little bit strange. We had a particular situation kind of too high momentum against us. It goes usually much better on everyday basis, but I thought I'll miss it, and then this happened. It came back down. And this is where I took it. This is where I took it. So, guys, I just want to ask you, if you take a step back, just for a moment, and you after you have this, and even though we don't have any really particularly heavy correlation here, this 4-hour red is kind of now a little old, but it's probably still the effect of it is still here. The trend is clearly up. This is clearly up. Everything's in place. Now, and you see this and this, which is the inside indication of this. Now, where do you really think, guys, that the price will go? For the price to go down, you really need a heavy, almost like maximum momentum. And I've been observing these things for like 2 months now, and the things are so clear, guys. And the only place is up. The only direction is up. And look where it goes. This is where we end. So Monday was not kind of too giving. So this was like 7-8 pips at this point. And we, as I said, we proceed very often the signal in this way. Now we have the trend in pink, and for me that's just to continue. And I was hoping at this point that I'll get the chance to get the trade on EU, and I actually did. I took it and I got this trade, but I'll show you that was one of the failed trades. I did get three and a half pips out of it, not as good as here, but the things can go in a very different way. So I'll show you this. Now here we do have a signal here as well, which is going against these beautiful pings here, but the situation so far is pretty similar on both of them. Now, just quickly, guys, GU provides sorry, what am I saying? UC is a good example here of where you can have uh, kind of a warning about the signal where it's gonna survive or fail. Okay, this is not a trending pink. This is not a trending pink, so this would most likely get burned anyway, even though the momentum is high and it didn't survive. But trust me, guys, even on trending pinks, sometimes after that happens after some reversals has happened, if you have the situation like this and this, because this is showing you how how strong this is. It's like telling you now that 5 minutes saying you with this, I actually mean business here. But okay, this time is with the trend. We get now just a possibilities to take the trade with the trend, and as I said, this is not the school example of where you can have the warning whether the trending pink will fail, because it's not. But it's happening when quite clearly. If you would just imagine for a moment that the trend is up and you had this reversal, and you will find these situation. You won't have to look for a long time. You'll find it, and then you get the trend in pink, but you have these situations against you. For me, that's a clear indication to not take them. Eventually, wait, even if it survive, wait for the better price and to get it from there. If some things indicates me that this will end, so that's also one way of using it. Now, to come back to GU, it was just to continue because now I have trend in pink. Now reversal came, and I gotta tell you guys, when it came at some point, oh, here, I was thinking, well, it kind of ate up all of my profits or most of it. I was kind of now maybe like 2 pips in a profit at this point, but then I got this turn, which is only to expect, because we do have a lot of space here towards the BB bands where we will hopefully land. These signals are really strong. The pattern is now established. Now with this most likely to me looked like a little bit of reversal before it actually reached the BB band, and it did. So I took another trade here with GU. I was trusting all this. I took another trade here. And then disappeared. And that was a nice thing. Now, EU here was, if I just come a bit here back, the EU as it developed. Now we have the momentum against us, but we do have a new turn to the upside that's telling us that it most likely will continue. But we are on the BB bands and kisses here, so therefore this reversal. And when we get this, the momentum is absolutely crucial here. So we can't wait. We can't do anything until the momentum turns. You never know if this will kind of go down even further. So this is where I took the trade. Look, it's now active. It's telling us, well, I'm not as asleep as you may think. When this appeared, I thought, well, I'll miss this too, but which is no problem. I don't cry for something that passed me by. And then this happened. Sorry, this here. This is I had to act quick. The momentum turned. It's now 9. Very beautiful, and this is where I took it. And at this point, I was confident it will kick in and go back up, which it did. But it didn't work out as well as GU. So what I got here, a moment later it was going on, I got the little indication that this could bring the price down. Now, this doesn't matter much, guys, in itself. It's just a little hint. But if you start observing this, look at UJ, guys. Look at the UJ. You see this down. Where did the price go? It did actually come down. It's just temporary, so you have to put place in the right perspective. 2-minute charts ain't gonna move anything by itself too much down or too much up, but it's telling me that it could just temporarily bring it maybe to the same level where I was. So I was just to observe and see where it goes, but it really never really worked out, and I will show you at what point I really started to think, well, this would be a failing trade. I actually did up with something like 3 pips profit, which is never something I target. But now we had this down, which is against the trend. We have this red surviving here, but most likely at this point, when I see the whole situation, I can't expect anything to go down. So this doesn't have a support that any reversal will happen at this point. We need more, but it tells me it could just temporarily, and after like what is like 4 almost like 10 minutes here, look, it came back up a bit. I hope now at this point it will go to the line so I can just get out, and it did, and somewhere here I took it out. I kind of got tired of it. I'm not saying, guys, that expecting quick results is the way. Sometimes I have this kind of mentality, and I'm not saying I'm right, but sometimes it's good. Now, I mean, if you wait for it a little bit more, you will get the move you need. But I got out here, so I got like 4 pips, nothing more than that. It didn't give much more. And I got out also on GU when it hit the here. When it hit the line, now it did give a few more pips, but I got out even though I got this. I got out before I got this signal. So at this point, I thought, oh, well, I'm missing out here, but it was only to wait to see for the new entry, and that was it. But a few moments later, basically what happened is this. So now, let's see, guys. Did we have any indication that this will come? From 2-minute charts? No. No, we didn't. So that's why the momentum bars are so important. And when I'm looking for this, so when I'm looking for 2-minute charts, I'm only looking them as the last piece of the puzzle in the chain, and only to see me to finally tune the trade on 5 minutes and nothing else. Besides that, I have no other way of using 2-minute charts, but this way I'm using it, I find it actually very valuable, and it gives me good indication, a little bit of head very often, of what may happen and that I can consider. So I don't know. I'm not offering this as a strategy because it's not. The strategy is the main teaching that we have. That's the strategy. That's everything that's valuable in this. And then on top of that, we can use the information the 2-minute charts provide. So therefore, I absolutely think they are not only valuable, they are necessary to be here. As I said, I'm not going to make a strong case for 2-minute charts. But guys, there's also one thing here. If we would remove 2-minute charts, now approximately half of the group don't get anything. Those who want to take it away, they don't get anything by taking any piece of the system out, and approximately half lose. because as I remember, like half of the group actually is using 2 minute charts. So we get improvement definitely. I starting to love it more and more. 30-minute charts, as MT has said, the extra signal, it's great. It brings also again more accuracy. We can see more details, have supporting signals. Now when we watch 1 hour, we have two different time frames where we can see details of what's happening there. But we need details that 2 minute charts provide as well. So I don't know, guys, if this was 200, if this was clear, or does it make sense to you? I hope it does. Uh, and if it's anything, I don't know, if it's anything I can contribute more to this, tell me. I will leave things here, and I hope that will be enough. So I wish you all happy trading and happy learning, happy expansion, and to the best possible ability you can demonstrate. And I'll see you in the room. That would be more or less all I had to show. So as I said, guys, see you in the room. Bye.